Most impactful trend, we see a lot of our customers moving to an end-to-end supply chain model from the traditional siloed approach. So historically, you had silos along the lines of demand planning or supply or inventory, and we're seeing a lot of transformation where they're looking across business units or brands and reorganizing processes, organizational structures, technologies horizontally across the different disciplines. The other thing I would say is ChatGPT, I think, is going to be something a couple years down the road that's going to be very impactful in this space. Today, it's can process text, provide a lot of good information, but once it gets a little smarter, it can do analytics, algorithms, statistical forecasting. I think that's going to be major impact in this space.
The most impactful trend that I see in supply chain right now is going to be generative AI. We are seeing traction in near-term profitable response, especially autonomous planning, in addition to the medium to long-term focus, which has been the traditional IBP horizon. And then from a people perspective, we also will see increases in more automation that's going to help the reduction with your administrative tasks and create further efficiency.
This may not come as a surprise, but digital transformation is the most impactful trend I see today in supply chain. Even though this trend has been there for a few years, not even bigger companies figured out to digitalize their supply chain completely. With the recent boom in generative AI, the possibilities of automation have skyrocketed. Digital technologies, starting with IoT, advanced analytics, and all of that have really started impacting supply chain in a positive way.
So I actually see three trends. The first one is data. Any major supply chain problem today is really a supply chain data problem. We think about product traceability, order visibility, even having visibility to our people as we think about the future of safety. So data is the first major trend. Second major trend is people. One of the major changes that we've seen in the past several years is the shift from the face to the customer, from a human person in a store setting to the supply chain, right? Supply chain is customer service, and customer service is supply chain today. So it's a very big change as we think about how we educate and train the future supply chain leaders and their entire teams. The third big trend is really scalability. I think for the most part, our supply chain leaders know what to do. The solutions and the ideas are out there. The challenge is really, how do you implement them at scale and at a very accelerated pace? What I'm most excited about in the world of supply chain today is our opportunity to bring together all of the new learnings across data, AI, generative AI, with the entire workforce that is now at the ready and growing, given how exciting supply chain has become in the past 3 years as we've all survived and thrived through COVID. And then bringing that together with how do we really design new ways of working, right? Not just new technologies, but how do you apply those technologies to how work gets done, to how you think about the entire network of your supply chain and your manufacturing base, from suppliers all the way to customers.
The most impactful ESG trend I see in supply chain right now is actually around the circular economy. I've been watching this space for 5 or 6 years now, and it's the most traction I've seen with supply chain and operations to date. Maybe 5 or 6 years ago, it was a lot around business models, what is circularity, maybe some material science, but now we're actually seeing some really interesting instances where forward supply chains are so disrupted that companies are actually reaching into the market to get their own products back, doing something to them and putting them back into the market again. So often we're seeing actually a financial material security driver around shifting to circular operations, which is really encouraging and really exciting. From a super nerdy perspective, circularity isn't necessarily a sustainability topic, but I would put it inside of ESG because of the material impacts and the relationship it has with the planet. So very optimistic in this space. I've been hearing from a lot of supply chain leaders recently about what they're doing, again, to find their own items, do something interesting to it, and put it back into a value chain.